Oh, okay. You're there though, right?
Well, yeah, because I said I'm on mute.
Okay.
That sounds excited.
Let's roll, all right?
Okay.
John, we're calling the meeting to order. All right, thank you. And so we have Andrew Doring, Dan Kehoe, Garth Bean, and myself present. And we are still expecting Leslie, Bazil, and Neil Gordon to check in at any time. All right, I don't believe we have any public to be heard. Is anyone out there? No?
No,
Okay.
I don't see anybody.
All right, so we'll move on to a financial report. This financial report is dated October 27th. So it's a couple weeks old, but we have not had a lot of changes. As you might expect, our financial report looks very, very different than most years. So I can't even tell you, wow, are we doing great or not so great? It's a very, very strange year. As I'm sure you guys know, we have hardly taken in any income because we aren't allowed to run our programs. So I did a quick income, year-to-date income. From Family Day, we took in $95. Bike camp over the summer, we took in $510. Our little wow. Program over the summer, we took in $50. Total of $655 at this stage of this fiscal year.
Garth knocked it out of the park. Without him, we'd have $155.
We also took in $1,500 from the Lions Club scholarship, which has been added to our fund. And it's not reflected in our income report because we took it straight to Camp Connery. But if you guys remember, we were charging $100 per child for the Halloween party. We took in $335 and gave that directly to the Salvation Army, to Camp Connery as a donation from the Halloween party. So that's the story with income. On the expense side, I will just tell you what we're budgeted for the year and then what our current expenditures are. And if you want to hear what the balance remaining is, I can do that, but I'm going to just do what we're budgeted and what we've spent so far, okay? In programs, we're budgeted to spend $27,999, and we have spent $2,315. In administration, we're budgeted to spend $45,905. So far, we have spent $13,644. In grounds maintenance, we're budgeted to spend $12,450, and so far we have spent $1,941. So I think we're fine. We're obviously under in expenses and way under in income, which one would expect with the current programming situation. Does anybody have any questions on that financial report?
No, there's really nothing to question. We haven't done anything.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Can somebody make a motion to approve that financial report?
I will. I make a motion to approve it.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Garth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. All right. Next on the agenda was minutes. And we have had an official meeting since last February. And I did not go back and pull out those minutes. We were supposed to meet in March, and that was right when COVID hit. And then we have had 3 meetings informally since then as we put our programs together. But I couldn't see any value or merit in going over minutes from last February.
Aren't they supposed to be online? I can't find them.
Our minutes from last February?
Yeah.
I believe, yes, they are supposed to be posted.
What?
No, sorry.
Not on the website, Andrew?
Our website stinks.
Okay.
I can never.
Move on from that though anyway. We're not presenting minutes from last February, but that was our last official meeting. I appreciate you guys meeting with me over the summer as we're trying to figure out, you know, what's what and all. So for old business, I have some fall program data for you, and I wanted to evaluate Family Day, the Halloween party, and our turkey trot. And let's go in order. So the first one was Family Day. And as you know, we had to modify it significantly. We did the Scarecrow contest and the concert. We brought back that band. Their name escapes me right now, but they came back for half price. We had them once over the summer, and then they came back for half price for Family Day. So we spent $375 on the band. We took in $95 on scarecrows and cider and donut sales. We did end up getting 10 people to do scarecrows, but we were pretty disappointed in the turnout for the concert that day. We think we had less than 100 people there. And the message was clear that I think the community is used to our usual Family Day with all the booths and all the organizations in town represented and all the free food from fire department and Republicans and Democrats. Anybody have anything to add about Family Day and the Scarecrow contest or the concert or what we maybe should do next year?
Well, let's hope next year we don't have to do it like this year. I mean, it was what it was. You know, we did the best we could with what we had to work with.
Yep.
You know.
I could have sworn we had a lot more people than 100 at a concert on Family Day.
Andrew?
I thought we had like just under the limit. Like I thought we were allowed 150 and we had like 140 or something.
That was at the Halloween party, Andrew.
No, I thought it was the same at the concert. It was more than 100.
I thought
because we were counting them on the way in.
I thought it was more than 100. Because I remember standing at the door. That's okay.
Okay, you gotta go.
At one point there was about 100 there, but I know the crowd did not stick around for the band as we kind of thought they would.
Because I think well over 100 came past our counting thing. You know, we were counting them coming in.
Yeah.
Well over 100 came through.
For Family Day?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact number, but I thought it was more than 100. I remember thinking that we were not close to the limit, but if we kept going. So I thought it was closer to 130, 140. Because I thought we did pretty well considering, but yeah, people didn't tend to stick around too long.
Yeah. Anyway, because of all that, we were under budget with Family Day. We normally have a $800 budget for that event, and instead we ended up spending about $400 on the band. So we saved some money there, but I hope that we can go back to last year's format. Yeah, our usual format with it. Anybody else have anything to add in comments on Family Day or?
Like I said, it was what it was, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think we can plan anything for next year until we know exactly what's going on. Hopefully they got a couple of new vaccines which are new, and we won't have to deal with this.
I'll get in line for one of those. not likely.
Next spring, we should be pretty good, I hope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope so too.
Hope this is an anomaly.
Is the Halloween party. If I hold this up here, can you guys see it very well?
Well, move it back a little.
Let me see if I can enlarge you. Pin? Ah, there we go. Look at that. Move it up. All right, so what are we looking at?
So what did you guys, I think we talked about it, or I think I have a pretty good idea of how you guys felt about it. How did you like having the Halloween party at Camp Connery?
It was kind of nice.
I enjoyed it. My kids enjoyed it. People that I spoke to coming in and out thought it was great. Mm-hmm. You know, so I think it was a good move. I think we should do it again if they're willing.
I didn't get to see any of it, but
no, we usually don't.
Yeah, when you get stuck in one area, you don't get to see all of it.
I wanted to go on the trick-or-treat trail, but I didn't even hear about it.
I wanted to shoot the pirate.
You didn't get a chance to do that, Andrew?
No, I didn't get a chance. My kids loved it, but I didn't.
Cool.
Shot him with a potato.
Yeah.
Got lots of pretty good feedback about having it there, and doing a daytime thing rather than a nighttime thing. I mean, of course, we made all the accommodations to be safe because of COVID, but Melissa and I both liked everything about having it out there in the daytime rather than our usual at Ashford School Friday before Halloween time and place.
Well, we're lucky Halloween was on a Saturday.
Yep. Yeah. And the numbers there are Sunday, right? 150, and we did hit 142 when you counted everyone who came, including volunteers.
I don't think I got counted.
You never count, man.
Well, there was nobody there when I went in, so I don't know how I got counted, but.
What, you thought we forgot about you? How could we forget about you?
Like usual. Stick me up by a fire with a bunch of wet wood and expect miracles.
Did Jimmy come around?
We knew you could handle it.
To dry out the wood with?
What?
Where?
Jim Miller came around with a torch to dry out the wood, and he called it a fire starter.
I had one of those. I used up all my propane.
One thing that happened just kind of, I don't know, organically this year with the event was some of our liaisons changed. Like, for example, we usually have the PTO helping us out. They did not this year. They ended up paying for cider. But normally they would take care of food in the cafeteria, and they didn't really come through there. And then we've often had the library helping us out with little kids' games in the cafeteria, and they haven't been involved the last couple of years. So it made it interesting because Diane and Jim Wheeler from Camp Connery kind of picked up the slack there. They provided cupcakes for the cakewalk. They had candied apples out on the trail. that they gave away. And then of course, Jimmy did the work to make the hayride COVID safe with plexiglass down the middle of it, so one family wouldn't be too close to the other. So they came through big on everything they promised us, which, you know, it's first time having it there, first time working with them. I thought it came off pretty well. And perhaps we're making, you know, new collaborative efforts and new liaisons there, but I sure don't want to lose the PTO or the library.
Well, you got to remember, it's a year's going to be an anomaly. We're going to miss a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff's going to be abnormal. So no worries. I'm sure everything will soon be back to normal.
I hope so. We've worked hard on those liaisons through the years, you know. Like, for example, PTO normally would run our moon bouncer at Family Day, and then they help us out with food at the Halloween party, and then we always run an event for them at their jamboree. So in a very small community like this, it's important that we give and take there, you know, and that we support each other's events. Otherwise, it can be a lonely little town if we're operating on an island sometimes.
A lonely little
town. Anybody have any critique of the activities we did at the Halloween party? We had...
I didn't see any of them, so I don't know.
Yeah, I was at the gate and I was helping Dan de-wet the wood for a while.
Okay.
I actually didn't see the
they say they liked best. Did they get a chance to go on the hayride? Did they like the pirate slingshots?
My kids enjoyed everything. They enjoyed the hayride. They enjoyed the pirate thing. They enjoyed it was the only thing they didn't. The band was for more of the adults, you know. So but they enjoyed everything else.
Okay.
There was a band.
Yeah. John
playing guitar.
I didn't see him.
He was in that.
I think I saw him when he got there. I saw him walking out of his car.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Melissa took care of that expense. Her expenses came to $317 and mine came to $188. We had a budget of $200 for the event. And the only curveball that was thrown at us was that we had to get a portalette up to Camp Connery for the event. And that's an additional $85 expense, but I'm going to charge it off to our parks maintenance budget and let it be there. So
there was a portalette there?
There was a portalette there. Dan.
I missed everything.
I didn't see it either.
Sorry, we stuck you up there by the campfire.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Dan got to see a bunch of little kids and he did some arts and crafts. You should see them. I was proud of him.
Yeah, arts and crafts.
And he didn't beat any kids up and scared them. He didn't scare any kids. It was great.
Maybe when I was smashing the pallet with the hammer, I scared a few of them.
Did John help you out with that?
Who?
John
P. He actually had the idea with the skid, the dry wood to dry everything else out.
All right.
We smacked it around with rocks and hammers and stuff.
Any other comments on the Halloween party?
I think we should do it again if they'd be willing to.
Okay.
I thought it was a nice environment. Everybody I spoke to enjoyed it. I didn't hear anything negative. So. And quite frankly, I think it'd be much better than being in the cafeteria. And during the daytime, my kids get real crabby around 7. So the nighttime deal for Halloween, the daytime is much nicer.
Well, and you learned something too, Sharon.
Really well.
What's that, Dan?
You learned that potatoes stink.
Yes, I didn't know that before. And apples float.
See?
Yes.
It's educational as well.
Absolutely. We had to work really closely with the health department on that one. The current status is anything that we want to run, we run through our first selectman first, and then we do a written proposal to the health department, and they send us back a page in response of how they want it done and the protocol for it. And so the Halloween party was pretty intense with all of that, but we managed to do it. We pulled together as a team and took care of what we needed to, and between Melissa and I and all of you guys having volunteers manning each area, it came off okay. Couple of snafus that we took care of. But of course, it's imperative that we be COVID safe at these events, or we really shouldn't do them. So moving on, the next one is the turkey trot, which we just had on Saturday. It came off very well too. I was really pleased. This is an old event that we used to do way back when. We haven't done it for 16 years. So for the first time in 16 years, it seemed right because of the COVID circumstances, and we were looking for outside stuff that we could do spread out, and it worked pretty well. I know you guys weren't there, but we had families come to the park and walk or jog dust trail, or they could go out on the purple dot. Each time they got a ticket for the drawing for the food. So they got one ticket for showing up and one ticket for doing a lap, and 2 tickets if they went on the purple dot trail. So we were handing out tickets left and right. Neil was there keeping track of our numbers. We were limited to 50 people and we got to 48.
50? That was it. Wow.
Because
why so little?
Back
we back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
We had a campfire going. We served hot chocolate, which, and I mean, we served it. That's the thing. You can't have the public doing any kind of self-serve with anything. So we had a gloved, masked person. It was Sandy handing out hot chocolate. We gave away 3 turkeys, 2 pies, and a basket. The other thing we did was, it's called Challenge by Choice. So, you know, if you do a road race, it's like a set distance, like come and you got to do a 5K, or you got to do 1.2 miles or whatever. But this, when it's just laps around the Stone Dust Trail or around the Purple Dot Trail, people can choose to do 1. They can choose to walk. We had one woman come with a 6-week-old baby in a stroller, and she did a few laps. We had other people that were jogging 2, 3, 4, 5 laps, but that challenge by choice idea seemed to go over very well. People could turn it into a workout if they wanted to, or drag their butt around 1 lap if that's all they were up for. So that seemed to go well, and it works for all ages and all fitness levels. The costume component was kind of fun. We encouraged people to come in costume and a turkey or a pilgrim or anything. We had a few turkeys there, and then Christine Knowlton, she was really funny. She came with a Thanksgiving centerpiece in her hair with a candle sticking up out of it. It was hysterical. It was really funny. So we did have some fun with that. I would definitely be up for doing it again. The grocery stores were pretty good. I went to them asking for a donation. You know, if you're looking for a big donation form, you got to do it like 6 weeks in advance and mail it to headquarters and all of that. But I went in looking for small donations, and Big Y was happy to give a $25 gift card. Price Chopper was happy to give a $25 gift card. And then I made a deal with Jules. I bought 1 pie and they donated 1. So we weren't hit up hard trying to do prizes. We ended up spending $47 on the event. So I was pleased.
Good.
Comments, questions?
Sounded
So it
like
went well.
Yeah. And it was definitely COVID safe. The whole key, you guys, is outside and spread them out. The only thing that didn't come off exactly as the health department asked, they said, don't have an awards ceremony. Like, don't gather everybody together under the pavilion to hand out your prizes. So we said, okay, we'll give it out during the event. Well, it seemed that about an hour and 15 minutes in, so 11:15 to 11:30, many people were done and were waiting around then for the drawing. So it did. Hi, Neil. Glad you're here.
Neil's here?
Yeah. So it did come off more like an award ceremony that we were trying to avoid. However, everyone really spread out. They were outside the pavilion, just kind of waiting and listening for their numbers. But Neil, I'm glad you're here. Can you put in your input about the turkey trot?
Yeah, give me 1 second. That's why I was on mute and my video, because I'm around cooking and stuff. I just came back in. So give me 1 second.
Okay.
And he's gone.
7:36.
Dan, thanks for the pot. The iron, the skillet worked great for my breakfast. It's perfect. 1 egg.
All right.
Works
Enjoy
great.
it.
Thank you.
All right. So turkey trot. I think there's much better participation than I thought. I thought it would have been as lucky as the what was the other event? The what was the last
Family Day.
Yeah, I saw that the participation might have been like that, but this was much better. I think the kids and the families that did come really were involved. So it turned out to be a much better event than I thought. And I think in different times we may have an even bigger response.
I'm sorry, Neil, I missed that. What was the last thing you said?
I think in different times we'd have had a much bigger response.
Uh-huh. So you think we should do it again in the future?
Definitely. It's definitely a keeper.
Okay. Great.
Next time we'll get some dry wood instead of that wood that Sherry got from the transfer station.
Sherry said she had dry wood.
Apparently we have a wood problem. Dan, keep it clean.
Full of wood now. Do you think it'll be dry by August when we have our next camp out?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that was the only programs I had to evaluate. Next coming up is what we got going forward. And here's where it's at. There's no basketball currently. Normally we'd be deep into registration right now and starting practices and coaches and all that. The league nobody can get into their schools. Everybody's closed out of the schools. And so it's all going to be reassessed in January. I'm not too hopeful that anything will change in January. So
I actually have a suggestion.
You do?
You know, in Tallinn, they have that big inflatable dome thing.
The bubble?
The bubble, right. The place is humongous.
Yes.
I stopped in there a little while ago. They have 3 mid-sized soccer fields, 2 basketball courts, and they may have time available. So we may want to see what it costs to like rent it. Maybe we can do basketball there.
That has been pursued, Andrew, by our basketball league, and they did give us a decent price on court time there. It's like $60 an hour for court time, which isn't too bad.
Mm.
The issue is
they're only allowing 25 kids per court.
No,
I remember.
the issue for me is if COVID is such a threat that your schools won't let you in to use the courts there, why do you think it's a good idea, or why would we be encouraging kids or parents to drive your kids to Tolland now and play there?
Have you ever gone in there?
Yes.
It's humongous. I actually talked to the owner in regard to it, because they were thinking about doing soccer for Wham in there. So before I even said yes or no, I went there to check it out. They circulate the total mass of that building twice an hour, which is a lot. So it's...
When you circulate, you're talking about air filtration through there?
They swap the air out twice going through a ventilation system, and it is filtered. And, you know, and they said they upped it significantly due to the coronavirus crisis, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah.
You know, he's taken a hit, obviously, because it's costing him a lot more money. But, you know, he said he had to do what he had to do. When I went in there, I went to check it out. You can actually feel a breeze through the entire building. So
Andrew, your thinking when you say that would be that it's a safer environment because of how the air is ventilated through that big space.
I would say it's definitely safer than any cafeteria, any gymnasium. It's like 3 times the size, and the amount of air that's pushed through that place is a good amount. So I'd be comfortable. I would be comfortable using it.
Times the number of people through there in terms of it servicing many towns, right?
The guy said originally he's allowed something like 12, a lot of people, like 1,200 people. Because of the virus, he's only allowed 250 people at a time. The entire building.
Yep.
So they're cutting it down to 50 persons per court. That's 25 players and 25 spectators.
Yep.
So basically, he said that they can usually do about 50 per court. There's 2 basketball courts and 3 soccer fields. So if you have more players, you have to have less spectators.
Yep.
So, but it has to stay under 50 people per court.
Well, thank you for checking that out. That's some good information there. It's something we could consider pursuing in January, I suppose, if the schools are still saying no way.
Yeah, I got a feeling it will be. I wouldn't open it up.
You wouldn't know school gyms if you were in charge. Yeah. But you would sign your kid up for a program at Star Hill or at the Bubble?
Yeah.
You would. Okay.
I went through the entire place. I'm like, wow, it's a lot bigger than you would think. And I talked to the guy. I said, yeah, the mass of this building is circulated twice an hour. I was like, that's way more than I expected. So,
yeah,
I would doubt very much that would be. It's much better than any gym. Probably not as great as outdoors, but it'll be heated relatively. So if we can get in there or swing it,
all right,
it will be relatively safe.
Next up on the agenda is our Carol Sing, which is really tricky and hard. I am kind of in a dilemma with it in terms of what we can do. Here's some background in terms of my thoughts. The Carol Sing in Ashford has been going on for 35 years. It's a huge tradition. It's a great tradition. It's something we shouldn't let go of. However, we cannot have an indoor event this year. Whatever we do needs to be outside. Whatever we do needs to be COVID safe, and they're not recommending singing because that's when people spread and spray the, that's exactly what they're discouraging people from doing.
So a carol sing without singing.
It's really
just be carol.
Oh, that's good. I like that suggestion.
Well, if it's outside in December, it's going to come out frozen anyway. You're spitting little ice cubes at people.
Little ice drops.
I did talk with Catherine about it. We didn't have time yesterday to get too far into it, but I do think that I got her to agree to have the lights put on the tree in front of Town Hall. So that's
pretty safe.
Huh?
That's pretty safe.
Yeah. So I think that Public Works will get those lights up on that tree. Have you guys been thinking about this? Is there something you think we should or shouldn't do?
Can we just, like, rather than singing, it's a carol sing without singing, can we just put on Christmas music and have people come for, can we still serve soup and all that stuff as long as we hand it out, and do the Christmas tree lighting? Can we do that as long as we're not encouraging people to actually carol?
If we're not singing, we could just hum.
Yeah, we can hum. Mouth shut.
Well, how are they going to eat soup?
Don't quit your day job, Sherry.
Sit down at
I was trying to figure out how much I was spraying if I was just humming there.
Well, you'll have a mask on. You can spray into your mask.
Yeah, the term "say it, don't spray it" takes on a whole new meaning these days.
I'm going to see if you can.
Internet connection is unstable.
I'm going to see.
Well, we would, in order to do it outside, I would recommend putting up one large tent, multiple tents to protect against rain. Last year it started raining, if I remember.
One idea that someone else threw out was, what if we moved the event over to Pompey Hollow Park where people could spread out?
No tree.
You could do a smaller tree in the gazebo. You could have it in the afternoon, and then the event ended with the tree lighting in front of Knowlton Town Hall.
How are they going to get there? Everybody going to walk?
We don't want everybody. We want them spread out. I don't know. I'm brainstorming, you guys. I'm just throwing out ideas for what could work. But clearly, we can't have people inside. We can't have them singing close together.
How about a big Zoom meeting?
Zoom caroling.
Zoom caroling?
Yeah, Zoom caroling.
Carol Zoom. Carol Zoom. There we go. We'll start our own.
Are you serious?
No.
Okay, good, because I didn't have much enthusiasm for it, you guys.
No, you'll see nobody show up.
If we can't have singing, then what's the point of it? I mean, that to me says you're really trying to make something out of nothing.
Well, Neil, I think it's still it's tradition, and it's community coming together for the tree lighting, and it's enjoying the music. So maybe we have the music piped in. I did talk with Vinnie LaMonica about the Babcock Band, who has only had an opportunity to practice twice in all of this COVID time.
Yeah, that was the other thing.
He did tell me that he thought he would be able to pull together a quartet, a brass quartet that would play for us for about a half an hour if we wanted to do something.
That's it?
Yeah.
Really?
because they'll be frozen. He wants you to get a heater out there for them.
I'm not an artist, so I don't know. So I just Googled a virtual Christmas Carol, and there are actually 10 virtual Christmas Carol concerts you can do this year. So people are actually doing virtual Christmas carols.
And how does it look, Andrew? Does it look any fun?
It looks like a bunch of people who are breaking COVID restrictions. They're all singing, and so only the 20 people who are singing are breaking the restrictions. Unless it's taped before everyone got sick. And they're just streaming it.
So, Neil, did my response to you saying, what's the point, satisfy you there and make you think we should still be doing it? Or do you think cancel it because we can't sing?
I say cancel it because you're down to basically people wandering around listening to music.
No, it's like I said, if we play Christmas carols, we don't necessarily have to sing, but you still have that Christmassy feel about it, right? Put all the decorations up, and personally, you don't want to hear me sing. I know that, so you would negate that negative. So I don't think we should cancel it. I think we should probably make the best of it as we can. Like I said, Christmas carols. If the band's willing to, spend some time there, live music, maybe can you have one person singing away from the crowd, sitting up on stage singing Christmas carols?
We had somebody doing a solo or a duet, like
right.
Charlene Armitage or whoever singing for the crowd.
Exactly.
And don't forget, you got the whole Santa thing.
But you can't sit on Santa's lap.
Right, there's no sitting on Santa's lap, but could we?
I heard Santa has to be in a bubble. It has to be like bubble Santa.
Yes, he has to bubble. He has to bubble. He has to put himself in a bubble. Run around.
Yeah, like a Santa in a snow globe.
Santa in a snow globe. Perfect.
Uh-oh, you guys. Santa's listening right now. It's all on the naughty list, he says. No, I was picturing possibly like a plywood cutout that maybe was a sleigh, and another one with some reindeer, and maybe you have your Santa up petting the reindeer, and kids that could actually come and sit in the sleigh, and you have a photo opportunity for parents there. That way you have the kids with Santa and the whole Christmas thing going, but you're COVID safe and you don't have any kids trying to sit on Santa's lap. I think something like, what'd you say, Dan?
I want to sit on Santa's lap.
I don't think Santa would want you to sit on his lap.
I have sit on Santa's lap.
I did too. I think I gave him a kiss last year.
That's not COVID friendly.
Jim just said that Dan has done it before, sit on his lap. And he wouldn't want to let you down, Dan.
He enjoyed it. He felt that.
I'm not going there.
Sounds like I'm hearing from Andrew, certainly, and Dan, speak up for yourself here. It sounds like we ought to do something. We ought to figure out what we can do and make the best of it.
Would they let us have a bonfire in front of the town hall? Like a big giant bonfire?
Not in front of town hall, but if you move the event over to Pompey Hollow Park, you have that huge bonfire space that's at Living Proof Church, and I believe they would let us use their bonfire. And perhaps you could serve hot chocolate out there, or maybe you have another station or something away where you get your bag of cookies or something. I don't know. I'm thinking of ways to spread people out.
I'm thinking like, 8-foot long pieces of wood and just like a giant fire.
A giant fire and having it at night still?
Let's just get logs. What, 20-foot logs like they do in, what is it, out west? Yeah. They just, and when it falls and kills 100 people, you're good. Done. Oh, we're not doing this. We're not doing that.
They die, they die.
Oh, wait, they're taping this. All right, we'll stop.
I don't know. It sounds like a good way to freeze your ass off.
I think we should do it. Even if we don't do the singing, the holiday spirit type thing. We're not going to have many occasions. A lot of people are, like we mentioned before, are going to cut their holidays short. I think if we can offer something holiday-like to make it a little less.
Yes, we've always said this will ignite your holiday spirit.
What about that building that we used for the Halloween party where you could open all the doors?
Yeah, that's what Neil suggested too. The only problem there is you're not in the center of town. You're not lighting your town's tree. You're up at Camp Connery again.
You say it like it's a bad thing.
I like Camp Connery very much. But they have asked us to come up there, you guys, on January 15th and 16th. Diane and Jim have a Winterfest weekend planned. And they've asked the Rec Commission if we'll sell hamburgers and hot dogs at it.
Are we allowed to? Like, are you, like, I assume that distributing food I thought that was something that's frowned upon.
You'd have to run your whole plan through the health department, but they have been pretty good. You got to have anybody handling food with a mask and gloves, and you got to make sure it's all in coolers. And
in January, you don't have to worry about coolers.
Yeah, I was about to say January 15th, we won't need any coolers.
You're probably right.
All right. Well, so I'm in on Christmas. I'm in on the thingamajiggy.
I
caroling.
I kind of like what Andrew says. I think maybe the band, one person up on the stage singing, people spread out. Something like that might work. A shorter program, maybe an hour long, between the band and someone singing, and walk over to the tree lighting. I mean, I think it all sucks, but if you want to in between, I think that sounds like a good balance.
Mm-hmm. And Neil, do we do soup or any of that stuff?
I like the idea of soup, and we hand it out in cups.
The problem with that is, where is everyone going to eat the soup? I guess, yeah, maybe cups. Everyone's going to walk around with cups of soup.
Yeah, basically.
Have them sitting at tables together. Might want to limit it to cookies, a couple of cookies and chocolate milk, hot cocoa.
Hot cocoa.
The soup thing, it's a meal. People will sit, and then all of a sudden everyone's hugging each other. So
it does seem that things are really gearing up with COVID right now. I mean, lots of towns in the red, lots more concern out there.
million people in the last week are infected over the United States. 1 million new infections in 1 week. It's pretty crazy. And Tallinn's a hot zone now, and a lot of towns relatively close to us are
having major upticks, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little nutty. And it's just a cold. A killer cold. This is tea, not whiskey.
Should be whiskey. I just want to sit in the dark and drink whiskey all night long.
Does anybody think because of that uptick and because of where it's at across the country right now that we should cancel the carol sing?
I think it depends on what you plan on doing. I feel like everyone's different. Some people don't think that it's real and that it's a hoax, and some people are deathly afraid of it, and there's everyone in between. It probably depends on what you were doing. Before Dan mentioned bonfire, I also was thinking, just was imagining what a bonfire would be like, something really big in an area where people could spread out, and to be totally different, obviously, than anything we've done before, but at least it would be something, and maybe that's good, but maybe not. Maybe it's, yeah, there's a lot of businesses that have been around for many years or have closed for good. So, and things that aren't being run, right? Like the Mardi Gras, right? Being canceled for the first time in whatever number of years, and you name it. There's plenty of cases out there where events have just been canceled. So I think if we did cancel it, it's pretty much, I mean, not unique. We're just joining a very long list of other events being canceled.
Yeah. But we've been doing it for 35 years. And it's Christmas.
Yeah. Can we get a consensus? How many think we should do something in our should do something outside?
I'd be for something outside.
Okay. Garth?
I kind of on the fence, but maybe just need time to think about it more and imagine what it might be like, but I can imagine that being okay.
Yeah.
I think we'd have to avoid town hall though, because that's a relatively small space. I think traditionally, is it always been in town hall, or has it been over in Pompey Hollow or in the past?
We've used both spaces.
So then I'd be hesitant to do it at town hall. I'd do it at Pompey Hollow due to the space, a much larger area.
Okay.
Unless of course there's 9 feet of snow.
Yeah.
One thing that just puts a little pressure on this, you guys, is I have until November 20th, which is what? Friday?
3 days.
To decide what's going in the Citizen about it. And whatever we write or print is what I want to do. We got to print what we do and write what we do and then do what we print. So any feedback or input you have on it, please get it to me in the next 2 or 3 days, but I'll certainly be sending you out an email as we try to put it together.
Is there somebody that you said we can get the Babcock band for about
half hour 45.
Half hour 45 minutes, 4-piece brass.
Yeah.
You think we can get somebody to actually do, what is it? It's not a cappella, but solo carol singing?
Solo or duet, yep.
Would that be frowned upon with this COVID humbug?
I don't know. We won't know.
We put them out on a out at the gazebo.
At the stage, yep.
Yeah, I don't see how that would be a problem.
What do you think about piping in music? Or I think the place, if we wanted to, again, I come to Living Proof Church's bonfire, and they would also have the speaker music to be able to play Christmas music out there if we wanted to do that.
How far is that from the actual park itself? I've never, it's...
Oh, very close.
I know it's right next to it, but would people traversing between the gazebo and
it depends how much snow there is too.
And well, yeah, no way we can predict the weather.
They could. We could find ways to encourage that, Andrew, and I think we could.
And I would do a bonfire. I think that's a good idea.
All right, that's what I'm going to try and pursue. We'll see how that works, okay? See how far we get with it until we hit a major snafu. Thank you for that input, you guys. It's a tough one. It's not easy for sure. I don't want to get into this heavily, but sometime we will. But the Babcock Band needs our support. If you have a chance to talk to any town officials about them, please be supportive and encourage the Babcock Band. They have not been well supported by the town or by the selectmen, and it's time they were. So let me just say that.
My new best friend, Catherine, might help.
Well, good. Sometime we'll have a longer discussion about that, but we can't do it tonight. In fact, one thing I would possibly be in favor of is it might be beneficial to the Babcock Band if they came under a town entity, such as the Rec Commission or Babcock Library. Unfortunately, no one has laid claims to them. They've been treated more like a ostracized stepchild. So I would like to help them out there if possible.
I don't see why not. Again, they've been around for how long?
They have a really unique and wonderful history, Andrew, and it should be almost like a hallmark of our town. It should be up on our webpage that this is the longest continuously playing cornet band in the country. Vinny has done some research, and they were around for the battle at Bunker Hill. They have a really, really cool history. And we don't lay claim to them. We say, hey, you're your own entity, go do your own thing. So it's a strange situation, but we shouldn't spend any more time on it tonight, but I'm just putting out there, please support the Babcock Band if you can. If you're talking to any town representatives, let them know what a great job they have done with our Christmas music for a number of years. Couple of things. We have had, moving on to Ashford Memorial Park. We've had a request to have it open for the winter instead of closing it on Thanksgiving weekend. We've also had a request to have trash containers down there and a request to have the basketball hoops put back up. Does anybody have any thoughts there?
I see the hoops are back up in Tallinn.
Hoops are also back in Wellington.
I saw them in Wellington too. Last weekend, not the weekend, but last week I saw them playing there. I think it was Friday afternoon or no, it was Saturday or Sunday, one of those days. The day I was here, Sunday, they were playing there. A whole bunch of people. Didn't look COVID friendly, but they were having fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. If we put them back up, would it be promoting or COVID safe environment. I can see how we would want it, but I can see how by putting it up, you were encouraging, basketball's, that's not a,
It's full contact sport.
yeah.
Excuse me, just a minute. You guys keep talking.
I'm not too sure about with the basketball. The park itself being open, I don't have a problem until the first decent snow. If it snows, we got to close it. Joint.
Well, and trash cans, who's going to empty the trash cans?
That's been the issue all along, that animals.
Where did she go? Bye, Sherry.
She probably pressed her button accidentally and hung up or something.
Yeah, she said, these guys are sick. We're out of here. Done.
No.
She's hitting the whiskey.
No,
well, that's easy. You can just put it in a cup and say that it's hot chocolate.
Or tea.
Yeah, exactly.
Know how cold it was Sunday morning where I was when I got out of my tent?
Out of your tent?
Yeah, it was
camping on Saturday?
21 degrees. Sunday morning when I got up. Yeah, we camped out. It was fun. My Coleman family. Like 40 of us.
Where?
At Sconic Island State Park in New York.
Ah, cool.
We were all pretty compliant with rules too. It was pretty good.
Expect me
not a whole lot of mask wearing, but it was cold enough. It was cold enough, I think. And this lady came. If you called her on the phone, she came with a whole Kubota 6-wheeler full of wood and dumped it at your place.
Oh,
it was nice.
Nancy was happy.
Is Sherry knocking?
No, that's me.
Oh,
sorry.
Well, we could adjourn while she's gone. What do we have left? We have new business.
Meeting schedule.
Winterfest at Camp Conway. We talked about that a little.
There's
Hi.
What the
Sherry, you need a Snickers.
What the hell are you guys doing there?
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Yeah, Sherry looks like Jim. It's a Jim Sherry.
Yeah.
My phone went dead. Sorry.
That was going to be my other guess. Power outage on your phone.
Should have plugged it in before you started.
Yes. No, says my husband. All right.
Have we gone into the overtime rates yet, or are we still good?
I actually don't know.
8:15. So we're over 8. So we're in hour number 2.
Okay. Well, most of our meetings do run that way. They can let us know in the future if we're supposed to kill it at some time.
Well, whose account is it? The town's account?
That's a good question too. We'll have to out from our new first selectman.
Hey, John, who signs your check?
There.
What's that?
We woke him up.
Who signs your check? How long do we have for this?
It would be Catherine now. It would be Catherine Silversmith, I guess.
How long do we usually have for the meetings, or is it?
I think I booked it for 2 hours, but I don't think there's anything that will kick you off.
Okay, well, thank you. We'll certainly be done within 2 hours, but we realize we're past an hour so far. Thank you. All right. So what do you guys think about putting the basketball hoops back up, getting a trash container down at the park, or having it open for the winter?
I don't know if basketball is necessarily a good idea in today's environment.
Okay.
I agree.
I'd be against the basketball.
Okay.
I'm for the basketball. I think people are adults. They can make their responsible decisions.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Neil, but part of me thinks that it's all connected. And when you see businesses like closing forever because the states have to get shut down, it's all connected. It's people not doing what they're supposed to do, and then it leads to this and it leads to that, and businesses and health and stuff like that. So I agree people should be able to make their own decision, but by putting up the nets, you kind of send a little subtle signal that it's okay. And I just don't know if sending that signal is really the right signal to send.
Yeah, but businesses aren't closing down because of people. Businesses are closing down because of the government. So if they weren't as invasive, then it wouldn't happen. But like I said, I am for people making personal choices.
Yeah, but I don't know when the personal choice ends and responsibility comes in. I mean, are we in any way responsible for, if something happens, like, 25 kids all get diagnosed positive because they were playing on our basketball courts?
And we allowed it by putting up the basketball. If we never took them down, but we took them down. No, now we're going to put them back up and say, okay, why not? Go for it.
Other towns have put theirs back up. We have had some requests. What is okay down there is for your individual families or a few kids to come and be able to shoot hoops somewhere. What's not okay, and the reason they were taken down, was that I was there and watched about 12 families drop off their high school kids for full court basketball play. We have outside, keep 6 feet of social distance or wear a mask. The kids weren't wearing masks playing basketball. They were well within 6 feet. We, if I were to go down there and see it, I'm required by my job to ask them to disperse.
You can't be down there every minute of the day either.
Right. If I don't see it, that's another story. But then it's like, why do you want to, you don't want to put a whole bunch of rules up that you can't enforce. Don't put the rules up then, I don't care which way we go with that one. I'd kind of like to see the hoops go back up because I'd like to see individual families and a few kids be able to go down there and shoot somewhere.
That's not what's going to happen. You're going to have the exact thing you just said. All the teenagers going down, not even saying just teenagers, adults go out there, and basketball is not a distance sport.
Yep.
You'll have, it's going to happen.
Sounds like you guys all think we should leave them down.
I think we should leave them down.
Oops, stay down. Okay. How about, I think no trash cans in there because we don't have any trash service for pick up and take it out of there.
Well, they just fill up the porta potty with their trash.
They do put some in there, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it was like somebody's job to empty the trash, that would be one thing. But, whose job is that going to be? The town?
It doesn't fall into anybody's. The 2 trash cans that are over in Pompey Hollow Park, one near the tennis court, and one up near the playscape up there, I empty. Not often, 2, 3, 4 times a year, maybe.
Yeah, but if you have the park open, it doesn't take long for a trash can to get full. And then after it's full, it just ends up on the ground, blowing all over the place.
Right.
I don't know. Unless somebody empties it on a schedule,
Yep.
Now, if we were to do that stuff, can we get Nate to take care of it? Except Nate, here's another thing. Garbage, a haven for germs. How does that relate to the COVID environment, and would Nate be willing to take that risk in maintaining the garbage if you offer it to him?
I think you would need to pay him to do it.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
Anybody. So, you know, over the summer when he was spraying the new playscape down, we had him stop in October just because there wasn't that much use anymore. He went back from $10 a day for his chores to $7. If we were going to add trash to it, you know, you'd probably have to go back up to $10 a day or somewhere in there. Or maybe that would be too much. You know, you probably ask him to do the trash once a week or something.
Good place to clean out your car.
Yeah, that's happening. You put trash cans there, and you know people clean out their cars. It's going to get full fast. I mean, that's why they're not there.
Yeah, it's handy. Sure, when you have trash, it's handy, but I wonder if it would be more trouble than it's worth. I'm not sure about that.
I tend to think so because we've gone for 20 years without it. I've gotten one letter from one person in the last month wondering why on earth you don't have a trash can down there. Oh. And the other part of it was, do you really expect someone to use those little doggy do bags and take them with them when they my answer,
you have a dog. If you have a dog, it's your responsibility to clean up after it. Yes.
Yeah. So we are providing the bag for you, but yes, you can take it with you. So I would be in favor of leaving it as we've had it. Are you guys okay with that? No.
Yes.
If it's one person, yeah.
What maybe, you know, get a sign. What is it? Carry in. Carry in.
That's been our policy. I did send the letter telling her that's been our policy and telling her that I would bring it up to you guys at the next meeting, and that's what I'm doing.
All right.
She should come to a meeting as the public to be heard. If she has a big opinion.
All right, last one, you guys. What do you think about leaving the park open for the winter, or maybe we want to go month by month? Do you think we should leave it open past Thanksgiving?
I would leave it open until snow becomes an issue.
Well, who's going to plow it? Is the town going to plow it if it snows?
That's what I'm saying. If it snows, close it.
Yeah, it would not be a priority place to get plowed, but they could do it eventually, say the day after or 2 days after a storm or something.
When did they put the fence down? Was that before or after last winter?
It was before. It's been down. This was our second summer.
All right. So what did they do? Did they plow all the way up to that fence in the wintertime?
Prior to issues around plowing in the winter was part of the reason the gate got moved. People would turn in to see about going to the park, and their car would slide into the gate.
Yeah.
It is jammed several times. That was part of the motivation for moving it down to the bottom. Other good things have happened for moving it down to the bottom. There's that parking area outside, and so cars can park out there and walk in at any time during the year. So, you know, the park is accessible, but we're talking about the possibility of having the gate still tended through December or whatever we decide, and cars actually being able to drive in. And I agree, when it snows, we keep it closed.
Until the town can plow out there.
Until the town can get it plowed or it melts away.
Right.
You probably have to talk to Joe about that before you make any decisions.
Yeah. I think, you know, the park's gotten a lot more use during the COVID times, and I think it's a good thing to have it open.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be guaranteed to be open 2 hours after the snow stops, but you know, if it's plowed out, why not open the gate?
Yep. It will cost us $7 a day. We budget to do it from April to November. We don't have it in our budget to do it December, January, or February. But I feel like the town's people are missing out on so much during this time that we can at least find a way to do that.
Well, we're not spending our money on anything else.
That's $630. My math is correct.
$630 to keep it open for
3 months.
A year.
4 months.
How many?
3 additional months, 600 and whatever I just said, $30.
630. Nate is willing to do it.
Okay, why not?
Okay. Can we make a motion for that?
So we are closed for December, January, and February.
March, and then we open the park in April.
Oh, it's closed from March as well.
When it's the start of baseball season, and the fields are dry enough to allow those baseball players in and on.
That's $840.
Yeah, but you also have to take into consideration that it's not going to be opened every day. I mean, there could be a lot of days where there's too much snow to open the gate. You know? Then you don't pay him, right, if he doesn't do it.
Right.
And we only used 600 something on, what do we used $2,300 out of 28,000. I think we can spare $800.
Andrew, can you make a motion?
I make the motion to have the park open through the winter.
Anyone second?
I'll second it if the other two don't want to join in.
Neil and Garth, what do you think?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, you guys. Next up on our new business is before December 1, I have to put in our meeting schedule for 2021. We have been meeting on the 3rd Monday of the month. Is everybody still good with that timing? And I don't think going forward that we will need to meet every month, but at least if we have it on the calendar and the schedule, we can, and then we can cancel if we don't need to. For now, I know they are going to be encouraging virtual meetings only.
I'm fine with it.
What was that, Andrew?
I'm fine with it. Okay. Schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm fine with the scheduling also. It's just this being for this meeting like this would probably have to be maybe a once in a quarter kind of thing.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to put forth our 2021 meeting schedule for the 3rd Monday of the month at 7 o'clock. And we'll figure out, we probably will need to meet in January because that's always an important budget meeting. And then we'll figure out beyond that when and how often we need to meet. We don't usually meet in December. We do the carol thing instead. And that's as far out as I can think right now, you guys. Does that sound okay for December and January?
All right.
It's good to me.
Great, thank you. Some other ideas that we have. I did mention to you guys about Winterfest at Camp Conry on January 15th and 16th. Are any of you willing and able to help cook and serve hamburgers and hot dogs at some point on that weekend at Camp Conry?
November.
Which weekend is it? Let me just look here.
January 15th and 16th.
February?
January.
January.
15th and 16th.
Yeah, it's the weekend. I don't know exactly what time yet, but that's when she would be looking. Her event's going to go throughout the whole weekend.
Damn it. That's Martin Luther King weekend, right?
Yep.
I think so.
That could suck.
Right.
I usually have a 3-day thing going on that weekend.
Do?
With your lantern friends?
That's going to get canceled. COVID doesn't burn.
It's a tradition. It's kind of like the Babcock Band.
Yeah.
The 35-year carol sing.
Well, this has only been going on for like 17 years. But it hinges on the condition of our country at that point too, you know.
January's not far away.
It's after the inauguration, so the COVID should be gone.
Yeah, it'll be
No,
done.
it's before the inauguration. The inauguration is January 20th.
Or 21st, right? So no.
Folks will be over.
Yeah, it'll be over then.
All right, Trump will be back in power, and then we can get rid of this COVID thing.
Yeah.
Don't you mean it'll come back? Because they only introduced it for Trump, right?
Sorry, Sherry, we getting carried away. I don't mind going on, but I know we're on a timer. I was gonna say I would do it if it's not like, 10 degrees outside. If it's reasonable, fine. But this is January, so it can be pretty cool.
Yeah, the last time we had our thing on Martin Luther King weekend, where we go in upstate New York, it didn't break zero the whole weekend.
Really?
And it snowed for 3 days straight. It had 2.5 feet of snow and zero temperature.
Sherry, weather permitting.
Diane will have a big bonfire going, you guys. I won't let you freeze out there. I'll be there too. I don't think you have to worry about freezing.
Winterfest, 15th and 16th.
Yeah, it's not going to work out so good for me.
Okay, thanks for letting us know, Dan. Up front, no.
Well, I mean, if it's because of the COVID thing, it's not going to work out for anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it gets really bad, nobody's going anywhere.
Right.
We don't have times yet.
No. Just so you know, Diane has big ideas. She does have a dinner with a comedian planned. She has a high school aged thing planned with a mentalist coming. There's all kinds of outdoor activities. She wants to do fireworks as part of Winterfest. And we'll see what comes together with it.
What's a mentalist?
A mentalist, like a mind reader or a hypnotist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't want to get in my mind. No.
Usually pretty entertaining and pretty funny.
Yeah, Dan is, you're right.
We used to take Nathan to this therapist we used to take Nathan to, my son. He would try to get into my brain, and I'd go, you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there, Bob. This isn't about me. It's like, but I could see him prodding, he'd be poking at my head, and I was like, no, you're not getting it there.
You saying I should see a psychiatrist?
The what?
You saying I should see a psychiatrist?
Yeah.
Everybody should, Andrew, at some point in time. The only other thing that I really had to talk, I had a few ideas down here is running basketball through the winter was probably half of my job during the winter months. So I am looking for some things to do. We have some ideas for updating the department and trying to get a better presence online and a better web page and a way for people to pay online. In the winter time, we're going to work on some of those things. We got some ideas around Ashford's Amazing Race activity, which I
what is that? I saw that. I don't. What is that?
The idea is actually from Diane Wheeler. She's run it before and is going to help guide me through it. But families, as a family unit, you would compete against other families, and you have like 10 things you got to go do around the town. You got to find this, you got to build that, you got to
like the TV program.
This puzzle.
It's like Survivor.
Yeah, like the TV program Amazing Race. Is that it?
Exactly like that. And then to finish, you know, the team that finishes first wins a prize or something, and everybody socially distanced gathers for a pizza party or something, you know, when it's all over and done. And a family might allocate a couple hours to it on a Saturday afternoon or something.
Interesting.
In the winter, or is this like a nice weather thing?
Anytime. You modify your activities based on the weather. We're looking, I don't know if we can do our traditional ice skating. We may be needing to look for an outdoor ice skating place. One thing I was hoping we could provide would be perhaps a supervised sledding time outside when it's a snow day. These are just ideas we're throwing around. If you guys have any, please send them my way. We're looking and wondering. Currently, and until January, we have no access to the school buildings for any programs. I have no access to Knowlton Hall or other indoor spaces for running any kind of programming. Knowlton Town Hall has a beautiful new floor in it. I would love to get our yoga program going again, or our Tai Chi program going, but right now with the uptick as it is, Catherine says, no way are we opening the building.
It's too small.
I'm just wondering, with all these new positive tests, why the bodies aren't piling up. You know what I mean? It's like exponentially higher numbers in positive cases, but you know, the bodies aren't piling up.
You must be treating them better, Dan.
I don't understand it. You know, they have so many hundreds of thousands of new cases, but
maybe they're just now able to identify it. Maybe it's not really changed. Identifying that.
It just doesn't seem like people are dying like they were in April and May.
Hey, Dan, that's a good thing.
Well, it's a good thing. I just don't understand it. You know, if you have so many more cases, you know, and it's.
The doctors are saying they've learned a lot and are more aggressive in their treatment. So I feel like they've been more successful at treating people earlier on. They sure treated Trump pretty well, right? He didn't get a bad case.
Who?
Trump.
Oh. Yeah, no. I understand that part. I just don't understand, like, you know, where my sister lives in Florida, in her county, they have like, you know, 250,000 positive cases, but their death rate went down. You know, it just, I don't think they're doing anything that much different. You know, I don't know. Nobody's going to get the same treatment Trump got. You know what I mean?
I think the difference is that people who are more likely to die from it are staying away. So that's probably the thing that we've learned, is that if you have, you're highly likely to die from it, then, you know, you quarantine yourself, everybody else go about your business.
At the beginning, it was 25.6% of the persons who contracted COVID died. Now it's at 7.6%.
Well, no, those numbers are misleading. It's 25% of people who showed up at hospitals. There were no tests.
Hospitalized people.
Right.
Yes.
There were no tests. Now there are far more tests. So it seems like a lower percentage, but it's different numbers. It's apples and oranges you compare it.
Maybe it just killed off all the weak and vulnerable, you know?
Well, maybe when Kumo put all those sick people in the nursing homes, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're getting off topic again. Sorry, Sherry.
Skip, next.
That's okay. We're doing a little. That's basically it. Does anyone have any other ideas for what they think the rec department should be doing? Could be providing, should be offering for kids or families or our community. You know, in these times, we really look to try to be part of the solution for families and for people. What is it that people are needing and how can we help and how can we provide it? What should we be doing?
Is cross-country skiing big anymore?
I like that idea, Dan. And there was a company, it's one of the cross-country ski places out in Farmington, used to pack up in a van a whole bunch of equipment and then come to your site for the day. And you do a kind of try it thing for your community and you have a chance to come down and
it seems like the park would be a good place to try something like that because you have the trails, it's relatively flat, you know.
Or maybe snowshoeing.
Yeah.
Snowshoeing?
Snowshoeing will have like one of the local trails, except can you group people in trails?
Snowmobile drag racing at the park.
That'll be fun.
That sounds interesting.
I would very much like to do that. Of course, the trick is always scheduling it when there's snow. We will try to do that. We'll pick a few dates and then also see if they could be, hey, kind of spur of the moment. There's a storm, you know, 6 inches of a storm coming in on Thursday. Can you come this weekend or something?
Yeah, but then it won't snow.
That's all.
You know?
Well, there's some winters we have here where it snows and stays around for months. So.
Yeah. It's like they call off school because it's going to snow and then it doesn't snow. You know, it's like, I don't know. You have to get a good snowpack, good base, you know. And
you mentioned before ice skating. Is there an outside skating rink around somewhere?
Tallinn used to have outside skating for a long time. And it moved around from a few different places. The last place it was at that Herring Grove Park in down off South River Road. And they would just set up this big thing and fill it up with water. Mm-hmm. And people would go skate. I mean, it wasn't like maintained with a Zamboni or anything, but it was like, you know, 4 or 5 or 6 inches thick. And they'd flood it out like on the basketball courts.
Yep.
And it would freeze and they would skate on it.
Maybe that's what we can use our basketball court for.
Well, the fire department would have the water. I mean, I know it's not uncommon for stuff to get flooded. I don't know what it would be like to do it over your tarred basketball court or what that might do to the surface.
Damage.
Yeah, right. Or
then we need a new pickleball court, right? Let's help it along.
Well, I suppose you could do it anywhere where it's flat, like, you know, that auxiliary field or anywhere where it's flat where you could set this thing up. Oh, it's a big, giant piece of some kind of rubberized stuff that, you know, makes a 4 or 6 inch base, and they just fill it up. Well,
Fill it with
I
snow,
think
drench the snow, let it freeze.
well, then I think when it gets too chopped up, they just come and throw another coat of water on it. You know, we have a water company right there.
Yeah, that's not our water though.
Company charges for everything.
It's God's water.
Don't step up.
We'll tap the Hope River.
I'll talk to Joe Kalinowski, our public works director, and see if he thinks of anything. If we can't find a way to do it outside, what does anybody think about? I haven't checked yet to see what UConn will be doing. I imagine they'll still have public skating, but at what, half capacity or something?
If they're still even open by then.
Probably a quarter. Like 12 people allowed only. Even for a small town like us, we probably would.
Yeah, and
push
we'll
the limit.
to stay the heck away from UConn. Although aren't they gonna have all their students gone till like the end of January?
They're not gone yet. They're making them test. They're making them do negative tests before they let them off their door, out of their dorms. They're not just turning them loose.
Yep. But if they keep the students out of there till the end of January, wouldn't we be able to still use the ice skating rink or get some dates?
You'd probably have to call them.
Yep. We don't reserve our own time slot anymore, Dan. We show up at their public skate times and then send people in with a pass.
Well, that'll tell us if they're still doing public skate, that we can do it. If not, but I'm sure they'll have a restriction. They might just say, well, like you said, we can only check.
Or they might let you rent a couple hours again. Who knows?
Yeah.
In this environment, they might go back to that just to keep the numbers down.
I don't think it would be bad to ice skate with a mask on, do you?
No.
I don't go fast enough ice skating to work up a sweat, so it won't be bad for me.
That's what I was going to say, the same thing for me. It'll just keep my mouth and nose warm while I'm there, right? I'll check it out and see what their thoughts are and where that's at, but I think it would be great if we could be independent and find a way to skate outside as well. Yeah. So keep your eyes and ears open there. Anybody have any suggestions?
The horse listener pond we skated on once.
We did.
Would it be safe to skate on one of the local ponds, like Hall's Pond, Reservoir? Is that something that
you have to have somebody check it out? You need about 4 inches of ice before it's safe to have people on it. And whoever the property owner is has to okay the ice and say, yeah, I'll let people on today or for now.
What about Lake Chaffee?
That's a state thing, right? It's a reservoir, right?
Well,
Lake Chaffee's a private community, so Lake, huh?
No, Lake is the what is that? There's a reservoir past up beyond 44, behind the dairy bar. Hall's Pond?
Colts Pond? Yeah, there's a pond up. There's a reservoir up there, but I think it's all private property.
Is that private?
Well, no, there's a little place you could put your canoe in, though. I'm not sure what it is. I could find out like right now, though.
The problem with a pond is that, you know, like last year, Lake Chaffee, I think, was only frozen for maybe a week or two. That's a problem. You never know. It could be frozen for the whole winter or none of the winter.
Yeah, the winter last winter wasn't that extreme. This year they're saying it's supposed to be pretty nasty, but
Yeah, they say that every year.
yeah,
They say that every
weather.
year.
Like the idea of our own little space that's, you know, like a field that's been flooded where you don't ever have to worry about
Falling through.
ice isn't safe and somebody's gonna fall through and drown. If they fall through and drown, they get a wet foot or leg. You know what I mean? It's not deep enough to be a real hazard or a risk. I think that most of your private property owners would wisely not be willing to take that risk for the general public on a very frequent basis, or, you know, maybe there's a big storm or a cold snap for 2 weeks or something and everybody knows everything's really solid. But on a routine basis, I don't know who we would find that might be willing to.
Yeah. Safety is probably not a good idea.
Yep. I'm even wondering about, like, could we skate at Camp Connery on that pond? And again, you know, Diane and Jimmy would have to approve and do all the tests to make sure it was hard enough. And I've noticed on my own lake over here at Ashford Lake, even on the lake, there's different places where the water's really deep and there's different currents underneath. And then there's other places where it's really shallow and everything seems very solid, but it's not an exact science for sure.
The other thing I noticed, you know that they play soccer down at the park? There's a group that plays soccer at Ashford Park.
Ashford Memorial Park? I didn't know of any group playing on a regular basis, no.
Yeah, somebody was telling me there was a big game down there a couple of weeks ago. I was like, I wasn't aware of that.
We loaned our field to a league for their semifinals and finals of a league about, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago. They called and got permission.
No, they did. Okay.
Talking about, and they're linked to Bill Smirnoff, the guy who is the grounds manager up at the Evangelical Christian Baptist Center camp where we do swimming lessons.
Okay.
Was his kids that were in the league actually playing. I think that's what you were talking about, Andrew, that group. They were in.
Wondering, I'm like, I didn't even know we allowed that, but yeah.
Hey, we are close to finishing up our second hour, and I have finished the agenda. The last thing on it is miscellaneous. Is there anything that anybody would like to discuss before we close and adjourn?
That's
Brisket.
dinner.
What was that, Dan?
That was brisket.
That's Dan's dinner.
Oh, you're having dinner.
No,
What are you having, Andrew? Beer or wine there? Or just straight up water?
Water.
Ah, you're 50 now. You need to start having the beer or wine.
I'm 50 now. That's why I don't have the beer and wine.
I gotcha.
I can't handle it.
So wait till you hit 60. You'll go back to it.
Do we have a date for when the runoffs to replace silver is?
replace.
You already have plans.
That's what
You're not running in politics, are you? I hope not, because that was not very political.
February 23rd, Andrew, is a vote again for selectmen.
All right.
You guys, thank you very much, everybody, for logging in and being here tonight. You've been really helpful, and I'll be in touch.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
See you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, John.